think of your first term, what's a word or two or three
Mm.
that comes to mind when you think of everything that happened and why?
The first word I would say would be momentum. I think we've really set the foundation in an effective way to create positive momentum for the city of Cleveland. Everything we've done to tee up our big bet transformation of our city through the investments we intend to make for the lakefront and the riverfront, to the work we've done internally to create a more modern and responsive city hall, to the aggressive approach we've taken to invest in public safety. So we have positive momentum happening all across the city.
So much of what you have worked on are very big, lofty goals, big projects,
Yeah.
core to shore, all of these things. But, obviously people want, as
Yeah.
want quick change. They want to
Quick
see it
wins.
right away.
Yeah.
Why are these small wins so important?
The small wins are important because number one, uh, we wanted to prioritize tangible things residents could touch, feel, and experience as quickly as possible. That's why I'm excited that we finally have smart parking meters for a downtown, and it's our goal with a council support to expand that all across the city. I'm excited about the work we've done to enhance our website, the first new website the city has seen since the early 2000s, to the work we've done to make City Hall a more attractive place for dynamic, entrepreneurial, innovative talent. We had a hard time in my first year attracting and retaining good talent because of our outdated vacation policies, from the fact that we were one of the only big cities in the state that didn't have a paid parental leave policy. We've changed that and got that done in just 2 years. And so I think our ability to not only tackle the low-hanging fruit, but also tee up the big bets we're making is a testament to the talent of our administration, and it's a testament to the vow I made in my campaign. Cleveland couldn't wait. Cleveland still can't wait. There's still more work to do. But I think the work we've done in just 2 years signals and shows the residents that we have tackled our challenges with a sense of urgency.
You've talked a lot about being a sales person for
Yeah. Chief
the city.
salesman.
Chief salesman.
Yeah.
And I'm interested, what is the elevator pitch for Cleveland?
Well, for me, it's very simple. This is the era of the mid-sized city, where a city like Cleveland, with its amazing strengths and assets, from the fact that we have the second largest theater district in the United States, one of the best food scenes in America, to quickly becoming one of the only cities in the country with 2 waterfronts. We have all the ingredients of any major city in America, but we are small enough where it feels like you have purpose, and the quality of life and the quality and the cost of the American dream is still real. And that's my pitch for Cleveland. And as I travel across the country and I'm pitching Cleveland to the world, folks are excited about what we're doing in our city, because we are being bold about tackling and addressing our historical challenges, but we're also being innovative and dynamic in terms of how we're thinking about our assets, and the work we're doing at the West Side Market and Highland Park Golf Course, the work we're doing taking 1,000 acres of vacant land, turning those parts of our city that have been vacant for far too long into shovel-ready job sites for the jobs of the future. These are the things that are going to fuel America's comeback, and it's starting right here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. As a salesman, you know how important perception is.
Yes.
And there's a growing perception, even as more people are living downtown, there's a growing perception that it's not as safe as it once was, or not safe enough to take advantage of all the great resources down here. How do we not only change that perception, but make it true that it is a truly safe place?
I believe the data speaks for itself. A recent study showed that downtown Cleveland outranked all of our peers across the state in terms of our downtown comeback coming out of the pandemic. And when you travel across the country, I would put our downtown in the top tier in terms of it being clean and safe for residents, businesses, and tourists alike. And one of the things that I pride myself on as mayor is my commitment to public safety. It's my first priority, my second priority, and my third priority as mayor. Since we announced our RISE initiative in July, our Raising Investment in Safety for Everyone effort, we have seen a double-digit decline in the percentage of homicides in our city. We've gotten hundreds of guns, illegal guns, off our streets. We made hundreds of felony arrests targeting repeat trigger pullers that continue to prey on our neighborhoods. And we've made historic investments in our workforce, from our 25% pay increase that council passed on last Monday to the work we've done with investments in technology. More small businesses, especially downtown, putting their cameras in our smart Cleveland camera sharing system, to the new automated license plate readers we have all across the city. And so we're not sparing any expense to keep our city safe. And I look forward to our forward momentum of progress that we're going to see downtown. Just yesterday, I was at the topping off ceremony for Sherwin-Williams. Not many cities across this country right now are building new skyscrapers downtown. We are in Cleveland. And it's my goal to make the Crane the new official bird of Cleveland. So more to come soon on that.
Sure. So when we think about something like what happened at Winterland, is there something else that we need to do to prevent the next after Winterland?
Well, I'd say two things. We as a state and as a country have to get serious about tackling this horrible obsession we have with guns and gun culture. I'm a big believer in the Second Amendment, but I believe that the Second Amendment is not a limitless proposition. And we have a problem with the trafficking of illegal guns in our city. And that's why I'm really excited about the work that we're leading with the ATF to make sure that we have an intelligence gun crime center in Cleveland so we can stop the trafficking of illegal guns. But at the same time, it's so important for parents and caregivers and community members to take responsibility for their children. It's not the government's responsibility to raise our children, but it's our responsibility to invest in the infrastructure to support young people, to invest in our law enforcement officers like we're doing. But we need everybody to step up because we can't do it alone at City Hall.
I saw you speak at the Greater Cleveland Partnership event at Playhouse Square a couple weeks ago, and you stressed the importance of public-private partnerships. What are some key ones right now?
Yeah.
And why are they so important to the city?
Well, the work we are doing for our shore to core strategy couldn't have been possible without having a strong public-private partnership. Excited about the work that we're doing with Bedrock and their potential $4 billion investment in transforming our riverfront, to the work we're doing with the Browns and the Haslams and the Great Lakes Science Center and the Rockwell Hall of Fame to transform our lakefront. And GCP and others have played a large role in getting our shore to core effort off the ground, to the work that we're doing with the Cleveland Foundation on our $10 million Neighborhood Safety Endowment Fund. No other big city in the country has dedicated ARPA funds to create a permanent source of funding to invest in addressing the root causes of violent crime in our neighborhoods like we have done with the Cleveland Foundation. And I would also say the work that we must continue to do with the private sector on being more aggressive around business attraction and retention. We need a more aggressive strategy to compete for new jobs, compete for new companies, and to tell our story. And that'll be a big thing I prioritize in the second half of my first term.
There finally seems to be movement around the waterfront.
Yeah.
And, in largely through your emphasis on on core to shore. But, we know when you look back on our history, there's been so many false starts. There's been some great social media threads and stuff, going back to the 1800s, early 1900s.
Tom Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. So why should Clevelanders believe that it's going to get done this time?
There are a couple of ingredients that make this moment special to finally see real progress and transformation for our waterfronts. Number one, we have a historical amount of funding available from DC to Columbus, from the bipartisan infrastructure law to the Strategic Community Investment Fund and state legislature that we are actively competing for that will allow us to really finance the big bet we're making for our waterfronts. Secondly, there is a political will to get it done in a way we haven't seen before historically in Cleveland and in Cuyahoga County, from the suburban mayors who all touch our waterfronts to the vision that the county executive have in terms of making Cleveland the freshwater capital of America, to the fact that when I visited Secretary Pete Buttigieg, I call him Mayor Pete, by the way, he said, Mayor Bibb, your city, especially Lake Erie, screams infrastructure, infrastructure, infrastructure. So I think there's great political will. I think thirdly, people are finally seeing this investment and this bet we're making as an opportunity to heal our city once and for all. You know, when I was growing up, the lakefront and the riverfront was a dividing line between east side, west side, black and white. And as we reflect on the racial reckoning that we saw in this nation coming out of the murder of George Floyd and after the pandemic of 2020, we have a historic opportunity to make Lake Erie and the riverfront a place of healing where every Clevelander feels seen.
Yeah. We talked a few weeks ago, and I asked, would we see a 16-year Frank Jackson run? And you said no. You didn't see yourself being in this position for that long. People wonder, I'm sure you know, but if you don't, people wonder what might be next for you. Do you have any thought of that, running for even higher office, returning to the private sector? And if you're not sure, what do you think would work into a decision like that?
Well, there's one thing I want to do in the future is become a DJ.
Cool.
That's on the to-do list. But no, I haven't given much thought beyond finishing very strong, running through the tape on my first term, and building a coalition and broadening that coalition as we prepare for the reelect campaign in 2025. And God willing, the voters of Cleveland will give me another 4 years to do the people's work, and after that, we'll go from there.
Okay. You mentioned that you'd like to be a DJ.
It's on my bucket list.
Sure.
I'm looking at turntables as we speak.
I love that. Good. I look forward to DJ. Would it be DJ Mayorvid? We'll figure that out later.
DJ 58.
There you go. Yeah, I
might
love
work.
that. Whether it's makers or artists or musicians, what part of our culture do you see as thriving?
The culture of our city is the soul of our city. And that is on display in so many facets. I saw so much activity during Forbes 30 and the 30, and also for the second year of Futureland. And there's an excitement about Cleveland culture because we are really creating the culture as we speak, from the work Rich Paul has done at Clutch Sports. Now he's a New York Times bestseller author, and he is changing the culture of sports and the NBA, and really fashion with his new Clutch Athletic Sports Group, New Balance, to the work that you see being done with local fashion brands like Layer, my homie and Duck, to Sozo as well, to Sense Pizza, a brand new pizza shop in Ohio City, to a Comfort CLE, a new mainstream soul food spot in Glenville. I mean, the list goes on. And so I'm really excited about the vibrancy that we have in our food, culture, and art scene. And it's all being done by, I think, a new generation of the creative class in our city that gives me a lot of hope for the future.
We talked about momentum. What would it mean for you to not win a second term? Why would that be detrimental to the city and to the progress that you've made?
Because we still have much more work to do to execute our vision for this great city. And, it's going to take time to see our projects into fruition as relates to the work we want to do on our waterfronts, to the amazing work that we've teed up for the Southeast side. As the son of the Southeast side, that part of the city has a special place in my heart. And I believe that our $15 million down payment to revitalize the southeast side will go a long way to making that part of the city, a beacon of the Black middle class once again. And so, while it would be detrimental, I still believe in just 2 years we've made historic progress that will have a long-lasting impact on our city. And um, I'm optimistic that we'll be successful in nearly 2 years when it's time to run for reelection. But I believe that every day I have in office is a day I have to do God's work of making this city and her residents better. My name is Justin Morris Bibb, Mayor of the great city of Cleveland. Happy holidays to the land.